Question number 18, the function h is defined by hx is equal to 4x plus 28. Okay. The graph of y is equal to hx is in the xy plane, has an x-intercept at a0 and y-intercept at 0b, where a and b are constants. What is the value of a and b? Okay. Now let's first work for x-intercept. So x-intercept is y is equal to 0. And here we are given a and 0 is the x-intercept. So let's put y is equal to 0 in the equation. Subtracting 28 on both sides and then dividing by 4, x is negative 7. So a is negative 7 because here x is represented as a. Now let's work for y-intercept where x is 0 and this time we will plug x at 0 and calculate the y-intercept. So any number multiplied by 0 is 0. So y is equal to 28. That means b is equal to 28 and we have to find a plus b. That means negative 7 plus 28. It's 21. So only name is changed, right? A x-intercept is called as a and y-intercept is called as b. Okay. Question number 19. An inequality is given to us and we have to find which table is correct. Now let's see the tables. Everywhere input is 3, 5 and 7. So that means we have to calculate outputs when x or input is 3, 5 and 7. Let's start. Y is less than 5 of 3 plus 6. So y should be less than 5 3s are 15 and 15 plus 6 is 21. Y should be less than 21. Now cite your style, how you want to do. You want to calculate 3, 5 and 7 first? Okay. But how I am doing it, like y is to be less than 21. So only A and B option is showing me y less than 21. In C case, it's 25 which is greater, it's deleted. It is equal to 21. So it is also deleted because y is less than 21. This is not the case, right? Y is less than 21 and D it is equal to 21. So two options deleted. Now let's do the second one. Y is less than 5 times 5 plus 6. Y should be less than 5 5s are 25 and 6 31, right? It has to be less than 31. Now I don't have to go to option C and D because they are already related. Now I have to check from A and B. So it's 27, yes, but it's greater than 31. It is not matching this inequality. So A is the right answer. Okay. Question number 20, next set of questions. Y is equal to 4x plus 1 and 4y is equal to 15x minus 8. Okay. So when we have a set of equations, right, there are so many ways to solve it. Elimination method, substitution method, graphical method. And when it comes to graphical method, it is always suggested that use Desmos. Yes, Desmos is a very important tool. Either you have to do arithmetic calculations like addition, subtraction, or you have to draw the graphs. But you should also be selective when to use it and when you should not use it. For example, in this question, what if? Let's not take this question. Let's try to understand the situation when not to use it. Suppose I have a graph, right? This is the Cartesian plane and these are two lines. And the point of intersection is not at any of the exact, integral values. You won't be able to guess the accurate value if it is not showing there. Then you have to guess, right? If it is giving you a proper value on the graph and you are getting like a and b, where a and b are integers, then this will be easy. Only a minus b you have to do. But if you do not get the proper values, do not take the chance to use the calculator. Try another method. Okay. Second point. Which method to choose? If you are good with graphs, points are, you are getting the proper points, okay. But if not, then which method to use? Now, if I see this particular question, I can see y on the left hand side and every other, x and y constant on the other side. So I will choose a method where I can make the left hand sides equal. So if I multiply the first equation by 4, left hand sides be equal. Now when I say multiplying by 4, every term will be multiplied by 4. Let's see what happens. 4 of y is equal to 16x plus 4 multiplied by 4 on both sides. And second equation is 4y is equal to 15x minus 8. Now because left hand sides are equal, right hand sides will also be equal. So this is 16x plus 4 is equal to 15x minus 8. Now I will suggest you to pause the video and try to do it in your head and try to write the answer directly, because you have to reach at that level. Yes, maybe you will not be able to do that, but slowly it will become your habit. So, if we have to make something a habit, we have to do it multiple times. I hope you must have calculated x. Let's see it's right or wrong. Subtracting 15x on both sides and subtracting 4 on both sides. So, x is equal to negative 12. Right? If it is not correct, try to do it step by step. Okay. Now x is done. I have to calculate for y. I have this equation and this equation and this equation. Okay, these are same, and this equation. So I can use any to calculate y. I will select the one which is going to have minimum calculations. So y is equal to 4x plus 1. Y will be equal to 4 times negative 12 plus 1, negative 48 plus 1. So y is equal to negative 47. Now that's done. And we have to calculate the value of x minus y. Let's do that. So x minus y is equal to x is negative 12, y is negative 47. So that is negative 12 plus 47, which is 35. Right? Try to understand what method you should choose to solve the question, because this makes a lot of difference. Okay. A right triangle has legs with lengths 24 centimeter and 21 centimeter. Now when it says legs, that means these are the sides other than hypotenuse. So one is 24 and another one is 28. Okay. If the length of the triangle's hypotenuse in centimeters can be written in the form 3 root d, what is the value of d? Again, this is the second question where using calculator is not a good option, because when you use calculator, it gives you a proper number, right? Proper number. It does not give you the answer in this format. So we have to do it at our own. Okay, let's start it. So this is 24 squared plus 21 squared is equal to 3 square root of d, and square root of d, and this is square root. This is what the formula is, right? Hypotenuse squared is equal to first leg whole squared plus second leg whole squared. Now because this is hypotenuse only, so I have to square root is the right hand side. Let's understand what one or two points where we can make mistake. If you do it like h is equal to square root of L1 whole square plus square root of L2 whole square, no, that is wrong. If you are doing square root, you have to do it on the complete side on right hand side. Point number 1. Point number 2 is, if it is like this, you cannot cancel like this, right? So individual squares cannot be cancelled with the complete square root sign. So I cannot cancel this, point number 1, or whatever the point is. Now 24 squared is 576 plus 21 squared is 441 whole square root. So this. So 3 root d. Now this is 1017 square root. This is my answer. It's needed in this form 3 root d. I know that if I need to take this 3 out, this should be 9 inside, right? That is a smart step. If I ask you to solve this, you will like prime factorize it and try to use the exponents. But yes, again here we can save time here because I know 3 has to be outside. So inside I'll just do 9, and 9 times 113 is 3 root d, right? And this 9 will be outside as 3, and that is 3 root d. So I have saved a lot of time here just by doing prime factorization method. I'm just converting it into by the hint given by this 3 root d. So okay, value of d is 113. Okay, if you think I should not do these kind of explanations in the question, please let me do, because I just want to cover every single concept involved in the question. Okay, question number 22. The floor of a ballroom has an area of 600 square meters. Okay, so it may be a square or it may be a rectangle. So that means length times width is 600 square meters. An architect creates a scale model of the floor of the bathroom where the length of each side of the model is 1/10 of the length of the corresponding side of the actual floor of the ballroom. That means length is 10 times and width is 10 times, right? So if you are doing it on the left hand side, you have to do it on the right hand side too. So that means here it is 100 and here it will be 6 meters squared. 6 meters squared is the answer. This is kind of like whenever you have to build something, so that is a very larger area, so you draw a model of it on the paper itself and then implement it. So that should be scale, right? If I'm doing 6 meters square here in the lawn itself, it will be 600 meter squared. Okay. Question number 23. Which of the following equations represents a circle in the xy plane that intersects the y-axis at exactly one point? This question has so many key points. So at one point it says intersects, and another point it says exactly at one point. That means it is touching the y-axis at one point, right? Now if I draw it, yes, y-axis information is given to us, but no information about x-axis is given. So if I want to locate this circle, it can be here, right? Or it can be here, or it can be here. It is touching both the axes like this. So no information about this axis is given, right? It's touching the x-axis or not. It's only about y-axis. So all the three positions are possible, and many more such conditions are possible. But now we have to see which condition is satisfied every single time. Now if you see this, suppose that is the radius, right? This is radius. So because it is touching, it will be the x coordinate. Here also, if this is the radius, that will be the x coordinate. And if you check this one, this will again be the x coordinate. So here, x coordinate and the radius are equal. Okay, that point is taken. Now let's try to draw it. So if center is like h and k, right? Center is h and k. So this radius is actually h, right? So if I take the standard form, x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to r squared, right? So this and this point, these should be same. X minus h whole square plus y minus k whole squared is equal to h squared, right? Now, if I check the equation, h squared means whatever is this number, everywhere it is 16, so it's 4 squared. So in the C option only, this and this coordinate are same. So that means C is the right option. So here you have to try to understand the keywords and imagine every possible situation and then conclude your answer. Okay. Question number 24th. In triangle ABC and DEF, angle B and E each have measures 27 degrees. Okay, so there are two triangles. They are not up to the scale. We have to just understand the concept. So these are the two triangles ABC and DEF. A, B and E, these are 27 degrees. And C and F both are 41 degrees. Okay, C and F both are 41 degrees. Which additional piece of information is sufficient to determine whether triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF? Let's just do one concept before that. Let's say I consider two equilateral triangles. Now think about the properties of equilateral triangle, right? All the angles are of 60 degree and all the sides are equal to each other. Now if I see these two triangles, all the angles are 60 degrees, right? And if this side is equal to this side is equal to this side, but in these two triangles, the sides are different. So they are similar, right? Though every angle of first is equal to every angle of second, so I can call them similar, but I cannot call them congruent until the sides of all sides are also equal. So let's say I draw another triangle here, this one. Now this every angle is of 60 degree for sure because this is an equilateral triangle, but this time this side is equal to this side. And because all the sides are equal, so now if you place this particular triangle on this particular triangle, they will actually overlap each other. That is the actual meaning of congruency, that if you overlap each, keep them one over the other, they overlap each other. So only angles are not important. So let's check option. Measure of angle A, no, because in this case we have seen if all the angles are equal, they can considered be similar but not congruent. The length of side AB, okay, we get the length of side AB, but it is only of one triangle. We have to make it equal to the other side of the triangle. It can be any, right? So here only ABC triangle is considered. We have to consider both, one side at least. The length of BC is equal. Okay, now it makes sense because these two sides are equal. Two triangles are considered. So if you prove this side equal this with all the 60 degrees, similarly, if you apply it here, if one side and two angles are given, then it can be the congruent condition. So C is the right option. Okay. Question number 25. The result of increasing the quantity X by 1800% X is 684. What is the value of X? Okay, before solving this, let's do some business. Suppose I am a shopkeeper and I am selling shirts, let's say, and one shirt or one dress is of $100. I have bought it for $100. I want 10% profit on it. So 10% of 100 is 10, right? That means if I sell it for $110, then my target will be completed. Okay, the position is clear. But now we have to check actually what we are trying to say. If I am saying what is the profit, then I'll say only 10%, right? But if I say what is the sale price, in that I will include 100 plus 10% of 100, right? 100 is my cost price and 10% of this. So this is the total cost I am going to take, and this is the profit I am going to make. When we have to deal with these kind of questions, so we first check this is asked or this is asked. If this is asked, we apply different formula adding that value into it, or if only profit is asked, then we only calculate the percentage. Okay, concept is done. Now let's solve the question. The result of, now I'll convert these words into math. The result of, this is the result, here will be the result. Increasing the quantity of X by 18%. So result means if sale price is 110, so you are doing 100 plus 10% of 100. And that is the result, sale price. So here that quantity is X. We don't know that. So X plus 1800% of X, and the result is 684. Now we have decoded the information. Half of the work is done. And next point is how we solve the equation, right? So, okay, because if I divide by 100 on both sides, so it will be x plus 18x is equal to 684. So 19x plus 18x is 19x is equal to 684. Dividing by 19 on both sides, 19 on both sides, so it's 36. So 36 is the right option. So whenever you see the questions of percentage, either profit or loss, or like increasing or decreasing, first try to check what is asked, right? So if the question is like including that value, do this one. Or if how much profit or how much is the increase that is asked, so you will do only 1800% of that number, right? I hope you marked the difference between the two different statements. Question number 26. A window repair specialist charges 220 for the first 2 hours of repair plus an hourly fee for each additional hour. Okay, so in this question, the situation is like for first 2 hours, it's $220. So it's not the initial value. And for how, what is the rate, even that is not given. 2 hours for repair plus an hourly fee. How much that fee is, that is not given. That after 1 hour, how much is to be paid. So that means slope is not given, right? Because that is the hourly fee. B is not given because that is the initial fee for the 0th hour. But here for first and second hour, total fee is 220. So initial value is not given, slope is not given, y and x are already the variables of the equation. So what to do? So what happens then? From the question itself, we try to figure out what is given that can help us to find the values and finally form the equation. Find the values of what? M and B. Because x and y's are variable, they will be y and x itself. We need to find m and b. Okay. A window repair specialist charges this much for the first 2 hours. So if you see this, these are the total charges. This is the rate per hour. These are the number of hours the work has been done, and that is the initial value. So if I see this data, for first 2 hours, the cost is 220 and initial value is B. Let's write whatever is given to us. And now let's see the second situation. Second situation is if the work is going on for 5 hours, the total cost will be $400. So $400 when work is done for 5 hours plus B. Now it's the situation when you have two variables and two equations and you use elimination method and you use substitution method, whatever is that. You can also use the graph in that case to find the M and B. So here you can use the graph, that's okay. But I'll teach you one method. Now both are equal to B, right? So first I'll try to find the value of B from here. So that will be 220 minus 2M. And then in the second one, I'll find the value of p, which is 400 minus 5m. Here I'm subtracting 2m and here I'm subtracting 5 on both sides. Now this both are equal to b. So that means I can equate them. You must have seen I use this method a lot. Whenever it's possible, I use this method. Is equal to 400 minus 5m. So adding 5m on both sides. And this will be 3m. Now I need to isolate m, so I'll get rid of this 220 and that is minus of 220. So that is equal to 180. So m is equal to 60. Now m is 60 here and m is 60 here. C and D options are already deleted. But now we have to find the b. Now I can select any of the equations. Let's say I'm selecting 220 minus 2m is equal to b. So 220 minus 2 times 60 is equal to b. So that is 220 minus 120 is equal to b. So b is equal to 100. So 60x plus 100. That is the correct answer. So see, as I have told you, right, linear equations are just a favorite of SAT exam, and question can be asked in every possible way. So just go to the playlist of linear equations and try to solve it, right? Okay. Question 27, last question of bundle 10 module 1. X plus 1 minus 56 is equal to 4x parenthesis x minus 7. What is the sum of the solutions to the given equations? Okay, first of all, the given equation, this one, is not in the standard form. So let's convert it into standard form first. X plus 1 minus 56, 4x x minus 7. Let's apply distributive property here. So that is x squared plus x minus 56 is equal to 4x squared minus 28x. Okay, so that is a quadratic equation. Now subtracting 4x squared on both sides, we have to make it equal to 0, and adding 28x on both sides. So that is cancelled, is equal to 0, minus 56 minus 3x squared or negative 3x squared plus 29x minus 59 is equal to 0. Let's multiply the whole equation by negative sign, negative 1. So that will be 3x squared minus 29x plus 56 is equal to 0. Now, when the question is about sum of solutions, so solution always mean it's an equation and we have to find the value of the variable. It's a quadratic equation, so we have to find the values of x and then take the sum of it. Now, as it is a quadratic equation, we can solve it by factorization method or quadratic formula, or completing the squares, right? Completing the squares. Completing the squares is a little bit tricky. Quadratic formula is the formula which is applicable like every time. Factorization, when you have square root questions, right? For example, the roots are x is equal to root 3 or some irrational number. Factorization is a tricky in that case. And quadratic formula is applicable and convenient every single time. This question I'll solve by two methods, factorization and quadratic formula. So let's start. Factorization method. So that is the AC method, and here comes the product of AC, which is 3 times 56, which is 168. And here we write the b term, which is negative 29. So we have to find two numbers when added give us this negative 29, and when multiplied give 168. So let's say the numbers are negative 21 and negative 8. When you multiply them, you get 168, and when you add or subtract them, you get 29. So let's split it. 3x squared minus 21x minus 8x plus 56 is equal to 0. So taking 3x common, x minus 7, then minus 8 common, x minus 7 is equal to 0. Then this is complete 1 and complete second factor terms. It is term 1 and term 2. Taking x minus 7 common from both, we get 3x minus 8 is equal to 0. Now applying the 0 property, x minus 7 is equal to 0 or 3x minus 8 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 7 or x is equal to 8 by 3. Now we have to find the sum of the two solutions. So two solutions are 7 and 8 plus 3. That is our question. Now this one I am doing by making the denominator same. So that is 3 sevens are 21 plus 8 by 3 is equal to 29 by 3. We have found the solution with the help of factorization. Now second method I will do and use the quadratic formula to calculate the zeros. So that is 3x squared minus 29x plus 56 is equal to 0. Quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac by 2a. Now if you are comfortable, directly apply this formula here. But if you think, it happens, sometimes calculation error happens. So we can do one thing. We can calculate b square minus 4ac here and then we will plug it here. So what we have done basically, divided the calculation into smaller parts. So b squared minus 4ac is negative 29 whole squared minus 4 times 3 times 56. Okay, calculator is allowed. So that is equal to 13. Now I'll write this formula here. Negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Negative b is 29 plus minus 13 and by 2a, a is 3, 3 to the 6. So two roots are 29 by 6 plus 13 by 6. This is the first root. And 29 by 6 minus 13 by 6. This is the second root. And we have to find the sum of the two. So let's do it. Now if I find sum, these two are cancelled and I am left with 29 by 6 plus 29 by 6. So that is 2 times 29 by 6 and it's 3. So 29 by 3. Now I have done it here by factorization and here by quadratic formula. These are two different ways of calculating the values or the solutions, but answer will remain the same. I hope you get both of these.